Outside the Box. This video will show you how to set up your ZOLL AED Plus, how to test and inspect it on a regular basis, and how to install it at your site. Watch this short video once all the way through. If you have any difficulty setting up your AED Plus, watch it a second time. After reviewing this video, you should also read through the administrator's guide that can be found on the documentation CD that came with your AED. If you still have questions or difficulties, contact ZOLL's Technical Services Department at 800-348-9011. We'll begin by setting up the AED Plus. First, remove the tray containing product documentation and accessories from the box your AED Plus was shipped in. In the tray, you will find some product documentation. Packaged separately in the box, you may find an optional soft-pack carrying case. You will also find the CPRD electrode pads. You may also have ordered a set of pediatric pads. If you ordered batteries, in the box will be a sleeve of 10 123A lithium batteries. If you don't have any electrode pads at this time, do not go through the setup process shown in this video. Doing so will cause your AED Plus to fail the self-test. You will next find in the box your AED Plus with its lid. You may have ordered an AED Plus with a lid that looks somewhat different. You might also have ordered an AED Plus with a professional interface like this one, with no picture graphics. These differences in the lid and the face of the unit will not affect how you set up your AED Plus. Even if your AED looks a little different from this one, you'll still follow the same setup procedures. Now that we have checked to see that everything has been delivered, we'll prepare our AED Plus for use. Begin by removing the clear protective covering on the face of your AED Plus. Pull the tab with arrows on it to the left and down across the face of the unit. If you ordered batteries with your AED Plus, you will find in the box a sleeve of 10 Duracell 123A lithium batteries. These are available at camera stores and other retail outlets. Replacement batteries don't have to be purchased directly from ZOLL. See your administrator's guide, located on the documentation CD, for a list of ZOLL's approved battery manufacturers. Now remove the door to the battery compartment on the bottom of the AED Plus. This requires a simple tool. A large coin will work fine. Push in on the two slots of the battery compartment door. Then use the coin as a lever to lift the door. Insert the batteries into the 10 battery brackets. Be sure that the positive and negative end of each battery is aligned correctly, as indicated on the battery bracket. While inserting the batteries, the AED will tell you, "Install batteries." And when you complete the installation, the AED will tell you, "If new batteries, press button." When you push the button inside the battery compartment, the AED will react immediately, telling you to plug in the electrode pad cable. Plug in cable. Note that if you ever remove your batteries and then later reload them back into the AED Plus, you should not push the button. Do this only when the batteries are in fact new. Never replace the batteries in the battery compartment with used batteries. Close the battery compartment by inserting the cover at the top and snapping it back into place. Now we will install the CPRD pads. Begin by checking the pad's expiration date, shown on the expiration labels on the box. Make certain this date has not passed, which would mean the pads inside have expired. Open the box. Gently remove the entire package and set it onto the face of the AED Plus. The white electrode plug will now be sticking out slightly from the package. Hold the package down and plug the cable into its socket. Press down with your thumb to make certain the plug is seated firmly. Now we'll prepare the lid. Notice the little window with a white background just below the ambulance icon on the cover. It can be used to show rescuers what number to call for help in an emergency. Pull up on this little tab inside the lid and remove it. Write your emergency number on it. then reinsert it in the slot. The emergency number is now visible on the lid. Now put the lid over the CPRD pads package by anchoring it in the rear. And then thread the expiration date tab through the slot in the lid so it sticks through completely. The process for installing pediatric pads is similar. ZOLL recommends, however, that you pre-connect CPRD pads which are for adults and not pediatric pads. An adult emergency is much more likely than a pediatric one, even in places where many children are present. Now that we've installed the pads and batteries, we'll review the documents, labels, and CDs that came with your AED Plus. This envelope contains 2 discs. One is your AED Plus documentation CD. It contains PDFs of all your AED Plus documentation, including the Administrator's Guide, which provides detailed information about your AED Plus. The other is the DVD that contains the video you are now watching and another video showing how to use the AED Plus in a rescue. You'll also find an operator's guide. It explains in a single page everything you need to know to use the AED Plus in a rescue. It can be kept with your AED Plus and used during training or an actual emergency. You can visit ZOLL's website to download copies of the latest versions of both the operator and administrator's guides. Also included in the envelope is your device registration form. Use this form to register your device location online, which will extend your 5-year warranty an additional 2 years, giving you an extended warranty for a total of 7 years. Along with documentation, you'll also find 2 small sheets of labels. One contains labels for your on-off button in multiple languages. Peel off the label that says on-off in your language and affix it to the blank surface next to the on-off button. Next, peel off the Lift to Open label from the second backing sheet and affix it carefully to the space just above the slit on the lid. Finally, tape down the expiration date tab. Separate and tear off the plastic backing on the tab. Then secure the tab like a piece of tape. To complete the setup of your AED Plus, you'll need to perform a manual self-test. Perform a manual self-test by holding down the on-off button for about 5 seconds. When you hear a click, let go of the button. The self-test will take approximately 15 seconds to complete.
Unit OK.
This indicates your AED Plus passed the self-test. Initiate this test whenever you wish by merely holding down the on-off button for about 5 seconds. This manual self-test checks 6 different functions on your AED. It makes certain that the batteries have adequate battery capacity remaining, that electrodes are attached, that the electrocardiogram and charge-discharge circuits are working, that the microprocessor hardware and software are working, that the CPR circuitry and the CPRD sensor is working if you have attached a CPRD pad, and that the audio circuitry is working properly. Your AED Plus will regularly perform the same self-test automatically, without you having to initiate it manually. Here's how to inspect your AED Plus in the future. First, check the expiration date of your pads, as indicated on the green tab, making certain this date is more than 60 days in the future. If not, it's time to order new pads. Next, check the status display window. It will display a green check mark if your AED Plus passed its last self-test. Complete your inspection by performing a manual self-test like the one we just did by holding down the on-off button for about 5 seconds. When the test is complete, the AED will say,
Unit OK.
The status window will display a green check mark. If your AED ever fails a self-test, either automatic or manual, it will display a red X in the status window and will emit a beep on a regular basis. And if it fails a manual self-test, it will also say,
Unit failed.
If your unit fails a self-test, press the on-off button for a second, and the AED Plus will tell you what's wrong. Then check the troubleshooting section of your administrator's guide for solutions. If you don't keep your AED Plus on a wall bracket or in a wall cabinet, or if you travel with it, you will probably want to keep it in the soft pack carrying case. To secure it in the carrying case, zip open the cover and place the AED Plus into the top pocket. Zip the cover closed and snap the two handle retaining straps closed to completely secure your AED Plus in its carrying case. This case can be used to store backup pads and batteries along with the AED. A backup CPRD pad can be inserted into this reinforced pocket with the expiration date label exposed. Connect the Velcro retaining straps to keep the pad securely in the pocket. A backup sleeve of batteries can be inserted into this pocket on the side of the carrying case. Notice that once in its carrying case, you can completely test and inspect your AED Plus without having to remove it from the carrying case. You can hold down the on-off button to initiate a self-test, and then see the results on the display window. You can see the expiration date on the tab for the pad currently plugged into the AED, as well as the expiration date on the label of the backup pad. You can even turn on your AED Plus and use it in an emergency without having to remove it from the carrying case.
Check responsiveness. Call for help. Attach defib pads to patient's bare chest.
If you purchased a pediatric pad with your AED Plus, you can keep it in the same pocket that holds the backup adult pad. If you have both a backup CPRD pad and a pediatric pad, you can keep both in the same pocket. First, put the CPRD pad into the pocket. Then put in the pediatric pad. Make sure you keep the boxes oriented so the expiration dates are exposed. Together, these two boxes will provide your AED Plus with a more than adequate support platform in a rescue. Finally, there is a small pocket with a clear window in it on the front flap of the carry bag. It can hold a document the size of a business card. Once your AED Plus has been set up and tested, keep it in an obvious location that's easy to access. If you keep your AED Plus on a wall using a mounting bracket, note the two round posts on the bracket and the two holes on the bottom of your AED. Line up these holes with the two posts. Push in the AED Plus until it snaps securely into place. Be sure to mount it with the handle down so the graphics on the lid will be right side up and readable to a potential rescuer. If you keep your AED Plus in a wall cabinet, place it along with any backup pads into the cabinet. The key does not lock the case. It turns the door alarm on and off, so that when anyone opens the door, the alarm will go on and stay on until the door is closed again. When you want to inspect and test your AED Plus, you can use this key to turn the alarm off and open the door without sounding the alarm. When the inspection is complete, you can turn the alarm on again. This video has taken you through all the steps required to set up your AED Plus, test and inspect it, and install it into either a soft pack carrying case, a wall bracket, or a wall cabinet. Watch it again if you have any problem setting up your AED Plus, and check your administrator's guide if you have a question that was not answered by this video. If you need further assistance, call ZOLL for technical support at 800-348-9011. Once set up and properly maintained, you can expect your AED Plus to continue providing you and your organization with life-saving support for years to come.